Matt, can you just give us sort of the elevator pitch to fans who want to understand what I'm sure was a tough trade to part with your number one starter?
Sure. Yeah. Look, anytime you trade a guy like Corbin, it's always a difficult decision. I think the overarching theme here is that we're excited about the players we're getting back, and the reality of our situation is that we had 1 year left with Corbin. I think Corbin had been pretty public about how this was going to be his last year as a Brewer, and so we felt like the opportunity to help our team right now with players like DL Hall, who was outstanding in the playoffs last year for the Orioles, a very young and major league ready Joey Ortiz that we like a lot, and a late first round pick is a very well balanced and exciting deal for us. And again, it's always tough, and I've had to do this a number of times throughout my career to trade really good players. I understand that comes with some pain, and this is not an easy decision for us, but I think the opportunity to help our major league team right now and also in the future is something that's actually really exciting for us.
We'll go to Steve McGargy.
Thanks for doing this. I was just wondering, how big a piece was that competitive balance pick in this whole equation? How critical was that? I know that's something you don't often see dealt.
Yeah, it's a big part of it. Certainly, our scouting group is very excited to have that coming back. I've already gotten a number of notes from them. Look, we've been very fortunate to have some success in the draft recently, and we're excited to have that draft capital and to be able to deploy that with a great group of scouts that we do have is something that we're thrilled to add to this package as well.
We'll go to Kurt Hogue.
Yeah, Matt, thanks for doing this. You mentioned the 2024 club, I think, in your opening answer. How do you view how this impacts your chances to win this year, obviously losing a really important piece of the club?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it is certainly a big piece of our club, but at the same time, I think we've added a number of pieces, including Rhys Hoskins, that we feel really good about. And I wouldn't at all look at this as any kind of rebuild at all. This is something, in fact, that we think helps us right now and helps us in the future. And so, again, adding veteran players like we have, bringing back guys like Wade Miley, but also making moves like this, and then investing long term in somebody like Jackson Chourio, I think speaks to the balancing act that we're trying to walk here. Which is help the major league team and also try to win for many years to come.
And let's go back to Adam McCalvy.
Matt, Ortiz, the club, Mike's fine announcement calls him an infielder. Where do you see him? Do you see him as a guy who moves around, or do you see him coming to camp and competing for a particular, position?
Yeah, he's first of all, he's thrilled. I just spoke to him. He's thrilled to play anywhere. I mean, this guy's a gamer, hard-nosed kid, a great defender. I mean, Gold Glove caliber type is in our reports. We think he can play anywhere on the dirt, and he's going to be good wherever he plays. And so, that's still to be determined, I think, throughout the course of spring training.
And Steve McGargy.
As far as Hall, do you consider him a starter, reliever, or how do you kind of expect him to fit in right away?
Yeah, frankly, I want to talk to him a little bit about it. He's been good in both roles. He's been a starter in the minor leagues, and he was an outstanding reliever for the Orioles last year, in particular in the playoffs. And so we think he's going to have success in either role. I'd like to spend a little more time talking to him. I welcomed him to the team earlier, and he was very excited to be here with us as well, and excited for the new challenge. So I think whatever role he's in, he's going to be great for us.
Sophia.
Matt, I know, these decisions aren't made lightly. So when you're talking about trading someone like Corbin's caliber, just in like a big picture, what are the things that you and the group are talking about in terms of like what is most important in acquiring to sort of balance out what you're giving up? And do you feel like you guys were able to accomplish that? Because I'm sure you considered a lot of different scenarios.
Yeah, Sophia, I think that's a good question. I mean, I think the big thing for us, like you said, is balancing out the deal. And honestly, that was one of the appealing parts of this when we're able to access major league ready players, an infielder that we think can help us this season, a left-handed arm that has had real success in the major leagues already, and then a very high draft pick. You know, we felt like it was really well balanced, and that was really important to us in ultimately consummating the deal.
Kurt?
Yeah, Matt, I don't know if you can, how much you can speak to this now, but obviously Burns being gone sheds a significant salary number. Do you expect that to go back into the ball club this late in the offseason?
Yeah, look, I think honestly we've invested in our ball club and we've had incredible support from ownership to do that. It depends on the situation. Honestly, I think we've invested in guys like Rhys Hoskins. We've invested in guys like Jackson Churio. And so we've always had support and the ability from ownership to do those things when at the appropriate time.
Adam?
Matt, do you worry this leaves you thin in the rotation? That's been such a strength for you. Do you feel like that's an area to add?
Yeah, look, I think in some ways, sure. I mean, anytime you're trying to replace Corbin Burns is a challenge, but I also think we have guys like Robert Gasser coming and Mizorowski, now DL Hall in our mix, and Carlos Rodriguez coming, and not to mention all the other guys that we have coming back, Ashby coming back as well. I mean, we just have a lot of really exciting young arms still involved. And so we certainly feel like it's going to be a challenge, but we think our group is up to the task.
Steve?
Also, I guess this in terms of the rotation, I guess this kind of makes Freddie a #1 starter. What you've seen of him the last few years, particularly the second half of last season, what gives you all the confidence that he's kind of able to accept that role?
Yeah, he's ready for it. I mean, honestly, he's one of the guys that you count on going out there every fifth day, taking the ball and you know, showing everybody that he can dominate. And you know, Freddie's built right. He's the right type of person. He's the guy that everyone loves, and I'm thrilled to have him at the front of our rotation.
Sophia?
I mean, it's kind of a similar conversation when you guys made the decision on Woody, but just what can you say about Corbin and his contributions, you know, and just everything that he contributed over his last 6 years?
Yeah, I mean, nothing but great stuff from our end. I mean, this guy did everything as good as you could ever hope. I mean, just a huge credit to him for everything that he's accomplished, you know, and our staff as well. I mean, a lot of people are involved with the success of everybody, and it wasn't a clean road, as everybody remembers. You know, it got off to a little bit of a rocky start, and just like those other guys. And I look, I think we're going to potentially go through some ups and downs with young pitchers. I think that's just the course of how it goes with young arms. But Corbin was nothing but a warrior for us, and he was tremendous in every way. Pitched in huge games for us. Always took the ball and was just a winner. And you know, again, thrilled for him and his opportunity going forward, and also very excited about the players we're getting back here as well.
Todd Rosiak?
Matt, understanding these things are kind of fluid, do you anticipate the possibility of any more moves being made between now and the start of spring training? You know, you have a kind of a surplus of infielders, and I think maybe a lot of people might start thinking like, well, you know, could Willie possibly be next? And you know, where do you stand on that? Thanks.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, as we've discussed in the past, there are sometimes these deals come together very quickly, and in other cases they take a long time. Certainly open to more conversations. I certainly wouldn't shut any conversations down at this point in the off season.
Kurt?
Yeah, to that point, Matt, how quickly did this deal come together? I'm guessing there were talks probably for a while this off season, but at what point did you realize that Burns, there was a real chance he would be gone?
Today, yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of talks for over the course of the off season. You never know until it's finally over the line, you know, and these take a lot of work from our staff, from their staff. Mike Elias is great to work with. And so, you know, credit to those guys for working with us. And, you know, they do take some real time to get over the line. And again, we're happy with the outcome.
Back to Todd.
Matt, could Ortiz factor into the kind of the race at third base right now? It seems like you got a lot of bodies, a lot of different possibilities over there at that spot. How do you see that kind of shaking out right now?
Yeah, I certainly think Todd. Yeah, he's definitely in that mix. You know, when you look at the number of guys we have there with Miller and Monasterio, Oliver Dunn, Tyler Black can certainly play over there, and now of course Ortiz. It's a great group, and I think we're gonna see what they can do. You know, it's going to be an interesting competition in camp for sure.
We'll go back to Adam.
Matt, it's been a while since we asked you about Aaron Ashby, and you brought him up as we try to understand your rotation options. Is there anything new on his readiness for the day one of spring training?
No, my understanding is that he's going to be good to go. I mean, you never know again with the health of the shoulder, et cetera. But my understanding is that he's going to be full go once we get to Arizona.